Mr. Stock and Mr. Poe show. Okay,
I
cut
got
it
a lot
out.
of music out of Just a Jaws Heart, don't I, Mr. Stock?
That's, that's
It
correct.
still goes when I put the Jaws. When I put it down, it still goes. Not only can I
That's
play the
great.
Jaws harp, I'm a ventriloquist.
Well, we had live music to introduce the show this afternoon, and welcome to the Mr. Stock and Mr. Poe show. My co-host,
Actually, Mr. Stock, I'm Alan Poe, the co-host, but usually we always do live music, only it's at least live, if not music. Usually it's Mr. Stock
right.
playing the banjo, so the music things would have to be italicized.
that's
but
right.
It's always live.
The viewers, regular viewers of the Mr. Stock and Mr. Poe show knows that my banjo is busted. So,
And I busted it.
Mr. Poe busted
Finally,
it.
I figured out how to get a banjo playing off the show.
But welcome. This show, what we do basically is introduce you to a lot of interesting people who live here in our community in, Dade County, basically. That's where Cable Tap is broadcast. And on today's program, going to be a very musical show this afternoon. Oh, is something wrong?
Move
Mr.
it
Poe?
along, Mr. Stock. They know it's Cable Tap.
Well,
They know.
It's important.
They
kid.
know. They can tell by our production values. They immediately turn to channel 35. Is it still on channel 35? Yes.
36.
36. Oh, well.
He's up to date.
Immediately turn right to 36. So they know it's Cable Tap.
Okay.
So you don't have to explain that.
May I continue, though? Is it okay?
Please do, Mr.
like
Stock. I
say,
can't wait to hear what else you have to say.
It's a musical program this afternoon, and we have an outstanding musical. Well, it's not. Well, I'll introduce first.
You're doing great, Mr. Stock.
Thanks.
Way to
Go
go.
on.
I'm glad I told you to get... Here, I think this is
I
an
don't
appropriate
know.
hat for you today. A bonehead.
Bono, thank you. Thank you very much. I can't do it, Mr. Poe. I can't do it. I'm flustered.
Want me to take over?
No, I'll introduce first Nicole Yarling. And Nikki, for people who are familiar with music in South Florida, I'm sure they're familiar with you, Nikki. And we'll find out more about you, I guess.
Okay.
Things that most people aren't familiar with about you.
Mr. Stock will be pleased to go on and on about what you do. Right, Mr. Stock?
I'll be happy
In
to.
your inimitable fashion.
Thank you. And also Jack Shawdee is here, who's obviously a guitarist with Nikki.
How do you know that?
What?
That he's a good... You can tell he's a guitarist
I
right
could
away?
tell because he has a beautiful guitar that I was going to ask him about, but I know you'll give me a hard time if I ask him about his guitar, so I
It's a
don't know.
nice-looking guitar compared to the guests we usually have. Usually they come in with old beat-up guitars that, you know...
This one looks like you take time out and polish it.
Yeah.
Do you do that with your guitar?
I got a brand new guitar just for this show.
Why don't all our
you
guests
feel
do that?
honored. You feel honored. Well, okay, we'll start off with Nikki. Well, when did you obviously play fiddle?
Yeah.
Or is it violin? What do you prefer?
It's whatever you want to call it. People call it different things, but it's basically a violin.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
looks like a
depends
half
on
a
the music.
violin. I hope you
This
have to
one
pay
is-
full price for that thing.
I got a great deal. This one it's a violin. It actually is. People look at it and they go, "What is that?" But it actually is a violin. It's just an unusual one, and it has 5 strings as opposed to 4. So, and
great.
it's built like an electric guitar.
Can you go back to playing 4-string violins?
Yeah,
or-
it's an adjustment because I play this all the time. But when I do things, you know, that calls for more of an acoustic instrument, then it's an adjustment to go back to 4 strings.
So why do you need that extra string on there?
It's nice to have it. It's a string that a viola would have. It's a low C string, so it makes it nice. It's convenient because it's not the size of a viola. Viola
you
is a
use
little
it,
larger.
yes.
It's an extra
You don't consider that
small.
an unfair advantage juxtaposed with other
Well, of course
violin
it is,
players
but,
and just playing with
but
4
who cares?
strings? You'll take it.
That's not really a violin, Nikki. It's a whole different instrument.
Oh. What would you call it? Tell us.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Mr. Musicologist.
Give it.
How about a violin
Mr.
extra?
Tone.
Okay, it's a violin extra.
Extra, okay. And obviously it's an electric instrument too, so you're thoroughly modern with your music.
As modern as I could possibly ever be.
Okay.
That guy's got a lot of switches on his new guitar, too. You can't see him, but he's got all kinds of knobs and stuff over there.
Well, I could see him, Mr. Poe, but I don't think anybody on TV
Well, that's
could
what I
see him,
mean.
so
That's what I meant.
why even bother
Well, it turns on
mentioning
his
well, it's just
microwave.
this is probably the most state-of-the-art duo we've ever had on this show, in fact.
State of the art?
State-of-the-art. In terms of acoustic
state-of-the-art.
instruments, they are pretty electric.
Which state, though?
Thank you. May I continue my questioning, Mr. Poe, or can
Please
I?
do.
Thank you. We don't have to be told we're state of the art. We already know it, but if you like to. Anyway, Nikki, so you've been playing around in South Florida for quite a while. What was the first public appearance you made?
Probably down at the Falls at a place called the Vines. some 13 years ago.
Really?
13 and a half years.
And violin is always your instrument.
Oh, yeah. And I sing. That's an instrument, too.
And what were you doing down at the Falls? Were you with a band?
Actually, I was with a guitar player named Simon Saltz, who was probably the very first person I worked with. And then I worked with Iris Sullivan. That was my next gig.
Iris Sullivan. So it's primarily, obviously, jazz music.
That's what it was, yeah. But I've grown into, blossomed into playing a big variety of music.
You've gone a long way since playing at the Falls.
A long way.
So, well, obviously, you're still playing music, so
Yeah.
you're obviously successful. Like,
A long way with music. Yes, it's been good for me.
good, good. And I guess we'll go to your duo partner. Do you perform as a duo now?
We do perform as a duo. We're also members of our electric rock group, which for many, many years was known as Little Nicky and the Slicks. And we recently changed our name to go along with our...
To just Nicky and the Slicks?
No, just a Little Nicky,
Oh,
to give her the appropriate billing. No. The name of the group is now Sandbox Romeo. And we made a change about a year and a half ago to go more in a rock direction. Nicky's material was going in that direction. The sound of the band was going in that direction. So we decided to bless the band with a new name change.
Has the name change helped?
Well, I don't know. We just put it into effect about within the last month, so we'll see.
The problem in the past has been when people hear the name, they immediately associate it with traditional blues because we began years and years ago as a traditional blues band. And slowly but surely the change happened. It was a natural progression. It wasn't like we woke up one day, like bands tend to do, we wake up one day and say, oh, I think I'll change my music, like I changed my hair color. It was a natural progression. It went from blues to R&B and then more to rock and roll.
Well, I noticed you did change your hairstyle,
Yeah.
Madonna.
That changed. No, not quite Madonna, but
Well, as you're
Well, she has a lot of different hairstyles. Changes her image a lot.
You should have seen her last week.
Madonna or Nicky?
my hair was blonde,
They were together?
my eyes were green.
Your styles have changed. You say you start off with jazz and then you do blues.
Oh, I
and now
still do.
rock.
I still do those other kinds of music. But as Sandbox Romeo, that band is basically primarily a rock band. A rock with maybe a tinge of R&B overtones. But for the most part, the music that I write and the music that we arrange as a band is rock and roll.
Do you still have that audience, the blues audience, or your jazz?
It's like I said, when I work a blues gig, we generally play for people that want to hear that. Or when I do a jazz thing, a traditional jazz thing, I generally work for people. I try now, the smart thing, as I get older, I start to realize that the smart thing to do is to target your audience and do the music that your audience wants to hear, instead of trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
It's been interesting to watch the people from the old blues band, how many of them have transited over to the new band.
Oh, excellent.
I must say, all this palaver has been very interesting, but why don't we have him play one, Mr. Stock?
Well, Mr. Poe, we have a half-hour program. I don't think we'll short them that opportunity.
Go ahead, ask him some more questions.
Well,
I can't
obviously,
wait
the rock,
to hear what
the
you...
rock band is not here. We have you as a duo, and you do not
we
perform
established
rock.
that.
Well, you don't perform rock and roll as a duo,
Well,
or do you? I don't know.
one never knows.
Well, okay.
We'll find out
Let's
if you
hear
ever
it.
let him play.
Let's hear what you have in
Shut
store.
up and let
Okay,
him
we'll
sing,
do
Mr. Stock.
I guess the first thing we'll do is a song that I wrote just recently for my rock band. But we'll do the scaled down rendition of it. It's called Come to My Love. There you go. It's a long, long, lonely road to travel. Even longer when you travel all alone. Your decision isn't mine to make. Take all the time that you need to take. back then it was always meant to be. Come to my love, get there the right way. Just take your time and you'll see. Your heart will know the moment you get there. That's where you want to be. Where you want to be. It's a 50-50 situation. But to me, it's clearly worth a chance. It may be yes and it may be no, but I'll be there anyway. Your heart will go. Come to my love, get there the right way. Just take your time and you'll see. Your heart will know the moment you get there. That's where you ought to be. Where you ought to be. If you love someone and set them free, if they come back, then it was always meant to be. Come to my love and get there the right way. Just take your time and you'll see. Your heart will know the moment you get there. That's where you ought to be. That's where you ought to be. Come to my love, get there the right way. Just take your time. Oh, the moment you get there. That's where you ought to be. That's where you ought to be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where you ought to be. That's where you ought to be. Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Very
That's
good.
great.
Thank you very much.
I don't see how a band could improve on that song, Nikki.
Wow. Yeah.
So fire all the rest of those guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're all fired. It's kind of hard to fire the drummer. My husband.
Your husband. Oh, well.
Well, I know your husband does double time with another band as well. Does that interfere with your band?
No, not at all. See, we both, we were, before the creation of Lil Nicky and the Slicks, we both were freelance musicians. And we did, like I said, a big variety of music. And so we still do Sandbox Romeo and as many other things as we can. Because it keeps music fresh and it keeps it interesting.
How many other members are in Sandbox Romeo?
Bass and Glenn Quater, and drums, John Yarling. And occasionally Ben Stivers, who works with a lot of other people in town. And so.
Sounds great. Boy, that's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, Jack Shawdee's guitar work is wonderful as well.
Yeah.
Are you have you been in South Florida long?
I've been down here since 1981, originally from the New York area. Spent 10 years in New York, batting around with people in the music business up there. Came down here 1981 and have been down here ever since.
What's your interest in music? Has it been pop or jazz or?
Well, actually, I've worked with a variety of different people, from Dr. John to Richie Havens, Paul Butterfield, John Mayall, guys from the Tom Petty Band. So I really cover the board, and one of the reasons I like working with Nicky and John so much is because we really do a wide variety of things. Nicky and I do the acoustic thing, like today, which you know, we interpret the material a little differently. We do some different material, some acoustic blues, and then when we work with the electric band, it's really a full tilt rock band. And I do work with a lot of other people in town too. So my interests are varied, all over the place.
So you don't get so dressed up for the rock band. You're wearing a tuxedo shirt and suit, nice
Tuxedo shirt.
So,
Yeah.
nice pants.
Well, for Mr. Poe, it's a tuxedo shirt.
Isn't that a tuxedo? He looks great, but I don't know if that's rock and roll.
Well,
What do you think?
what do you wear differently when you go to your rock and roll gigs?
Well, actually, it depends. I mean,
I generally
She's
look
wearing
like
leather.
this.
Now that's perfect. Leather is
Leather.
perfect. That's my favorite color on a woman.
I knew with such a high-end show as this that I wanted to dress appropriately and
Well, thank you.
be in
Well, gee, I forgot.
right.
My gown was in the cleaners.
He knew that this was a very pretentious show and he wanted to dress up.
Exactly.
Well, Nicky, what are some of the more exciting moments in your career? I don't know if this is one of the more exciting moments, but I know you once sang with Jimmy Buffett on stage.
Oh,
God.
boy.
How about for
Was that-
3 years?
Oh, for 3 years
Yeah,
you toured with Jimmy
Are
Buffett?
you a
I,
fan of Jimmy Buffett, Mr. Stock?
I think he's a good songwriter, sure.
Really?
Well, you obviously are
Oh
a
no,
fan. Nicky.
I honestly think that he's a great storyteller through song, and I enjoyed my 3-year stint with him. And I'm on a new record, and as a result, we did some recording on his label. I got to see all of the United States 3 times. I got to see Canada and Hawaii, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, tons and tons of fun. So.
Great. Well, I'm ready for another song.
A Jimmy Buffett song, Mr. Stock? You're going to request a Jimmy Buffett? Hey, could you do Margaritaville?
We don't do any Jimmy Buffett music. I keep threatening to do this, and one of these days I'm going to do a very, very strange, demented rendition of probably Margaritaville. I haven't come up with the...
Well, you only wish you could write a song like that.
No, I really wish I could write a song like Fruitcakes.
You know, we had August Campbell on the show, who, as you know, does
Who
all
is
kinds.
Jimmy
Thinks he is
Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett. Yeah. And I had an old Jimmy Buffett album
He's Jimmy
that I got for
Buffett.
29 cents or something, and I put the big circle with the line through it on it, held it up so we know not to play any Jimmy
God.
Buffett.
No, I mean,
right.
I think that he's a talented songwriter, and it was fun to work with. Really, really.
And in
fun.
case he's watching this show, really, Jimmy, just kidding. We love you. We'd love to have you on the show.
Since we're stalling for time, what was the most exciting moment of your career?
Actually, it was not with Jimmy Buffett. There were 2. One was in Denmark when we played for the very first time for 19,000 people, and they didn't know who we were, and they loved us.
That was for Little Nicky and the Slicks.
Yeah, and the other was before the wall came down. We played in Denmark with a Soviet band from Latvia, and they were fighting for their independence. So I got like a lot of insight about firsthand about life in the Soviet Union. And I traveled with these guys for 2 weeks, and it was the most enjoyable 2 weeks of probably my life. I mean, it was, and we're still in touch. In fact, this ring was a gift from one of the guys in the band, and I wear it and wear it proudly. And now they have their independence, or they're about to get. I mean, technically, Latvia. Yeah.
Those Latvians know how to have fun, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell
They
you.
can party.
Well, needlessly speaking,
Wild and crazy guys.
They did like Little Nicky and the Slicks.
Yeah, they did a lot, and we worked from '87 until 90. We made 9 or 10 trips.
Wow.
They probably really like the name, Mr. Stock.
Right. Well, you know, we're
that's
running
changed
out
now.
of time. You know,
let's
I would
have him
like
play
to get more
again.
music, sure.
What would you
Yeah.
like to do? Okay, we'll do another one. Actually, this song is from our first record. We did do another portion of another record, so this is from our first record, Little Nicky and the Slicks. Whoa, 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 whoa. wondering when you're coming home. And I'm thinking, maybe my love for you is wrong. Hey, 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 yeah. Call me a fool, 'cause I put my life in his hands. Not a thing you can do when a woman loves a man. Yeah. When a woman loves a man. Walking, facing the floor most every night. Yeah. And I'm hoping, hoping, hoping you'll come on home and make it right. Come on home and make it right. Yeah. Call me a fool, 'cause I put my heart in his hands. Not a thing you can do when a woman loves a man. Yeah. When a woman loves a man, yeah. Oh. Call me a fool, 'cause I put my soul in his hands. Not a thing you can do when a woman loves a man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When a woman loves a man, yeah. She's gotta love him right and treat him good. Make him feel like a man should, yeah. When a woman loves a man, when a woman loves a man, when a woman loves a man, yeah.
That's
great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Still sounded pretty bluesy to me.
Yeah,
Nikki.
well, that was the old Little Lincoln Affair.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a funny story that goes with that song. We were in the studio and we were recording, and I kept telling these guys I had a ballad, and I didn't. I had no song at all, absolutely none. I kept saying, yeah, I got one, I got it covered. Well, needless to say, I had to sit in the vocal booth, and I was sitting there and furiously writing, and the song came to me all at once.
Oh, that's great.
So, those to me are always the best songs. Yeah.
Nicole Yarling and Jack Shawdee, have been our guests for this edition of the Mr. Stock and Mr. Poe Show. Thank you for tuning in. Maybe you, do you have any recordings planned?
Well, not in the next couple of weeks, but of course we're always looking. And the last thing we did as a band was the Margaritaville Cafe, which is a compilation. It's a zillion other bands, but we have a couple of songs on that.
Thanks for coming by. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
tuning in. Would you like to do another instrumental to take us out to the end of the show?
And as I just want to say, it's a pleasure to have you on. And
Thank you.
actually,
Thanks
I've
for having
been trying to get our
end
producer
of the
Mark
show.
Weiser
End
to
of
have
the
you on
show,
for a
he
long
starts
time. I don't know what's taking him so long, but I'm glad you're finally here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'm alright just as long as I don't want to live in your neighborhood. You're my friend, though we're not the same.